I am here with Ivana Ibanez. Ivana, I am so happy to be talking to you. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Okay, why don't we get started with you introducing yourself a little bit? Why don't you tell us where you work, what is your role, and just a little bit that we need to know about you?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Ina Coveney. I now work at the Fernandez Honda dealership in San Antonio, Texas. I've been at it now for a month, going on 2 months now. So freshly new in the franchise world. Besides that, I did do stay-at-home jobs for about 3.5 years to be able to be home with my children.
What kind of jobs did you do? That's really interesting for me, like get into the story. Like, what did you do before you were in car sales?
Yeah, so before that, I was still doing sales. I worked for a company called Cellytics that works amongst many popular brands that you might hear of. One of them, I guess I can say, is American Express. So, there's different departments of what we did. So, let's say FedEx, for example, if you were to work with them, you're selling coupons to customers and you try to get them on board with certain kind of programs. Same thing applies to Cellytics, American Express. We help people get certain credit cards, and based off of the recommendations that we have for them is considered a sell. So things along the lines.
What made you get into car sales?
It's funny because it kind of runs in the family. So on my mom's side, a lot of my family members sell cars. They're the managers. They're all over the place, but they're in a whole different city in Houston. And so I didn't really grow up around it, but in a way, it kind of found its way to me. I think first and foremost, I did become a single mother by choice. So when you no longer rely on a second source of income besides your own, and it's solely on you, it pushed me to want more for myself and for my children. Which is why ultimately I decided to make this leap of faith, if you will, and just be like, okay, can I do this? Can I really provide for my family? And so it's me showcasing to myself that yes, I can.
Can I ask you something? When you first started, now this has been in your family, so you're familiar with the industry and exactly what they did. What was one misconception that you had about car sales that got dispelled really quickly when you started?
I guess one thing is like you're not a millionaire as soon as you start, right? Like people think, oh, you sell cars, you make money, like it must be great. You don't see the behind the scenes, like we sell cars, but there's certain amounts that you have to make each month to reach a certain point of where you're trying to be salary wise or commission wise. So that's one thing, go before going into it that I'm like, oh, you get to make all this money and stuff. And then you get into it and you're like, wow, there's a lot more to it than, just seeing the smoky mirrors, if you will.
Yeah. Did they have at your dealership, do they have a situation where you have people who are more senior and they get, certain perks, like they get first call at the person who walks into the store, or is it everybody gets, anybody who walks in, whoever is there?
I'm gonna say it's pretty much a free for all because we do have a mix of people that they already have their customers, their loyalty, and sometimes just referrals coming in straight for them. Other times you will have walk-ins, and it's kind of whoever can get to it first, is kind of how that goes.
I really want to know when you first started, what was your biggest challenge or your biggest fear that you had to overcome in these past couple of months? Because I'm sure you've come a long way from day one. So, what do you feel like you have been able to overcome in the past 2 months?
Confrontation. Um, I used to not like confrontation whatsoever. I used to be terrified of it, to be honest, and maybe it was my upbringing, but I always wanted to avoid conversations whatsoever if I knew there was going to be conflict. In this business, sometimes it just comes with the territory. For instance, somebody there's chances when you have an appointment set for yourself, but some people can try to take that appointment from you, and it generally can take away your deal or make it half of a deal versus a whole deal for yourself.
Right.
So in times like that, I had to learn to speak up for myself and be like, hey, what's going on? How are we going to solve this moving forward? I've had to not only communicate with the person that was involved in general, but I even took it to the managers because I'm like, please help me understand how this process works because I don't want to come off a certain way or, I want to know if I'm right or wrong with however way things play out. And so I got clarification out of it. I also, with the type of maturity that I have within myself too, I can end things with still a respectful level to it. So it doesn't ever have to get disrespectful as long as we understand where we're both coming from and moving forward. It doesn't happen again.
Yeah. Is there somebody that has kind of taken you under their wing or somebody that you've even unintentionally learned a lot from so far? Can you think of one person?
Yeah, so there is a girl there that also is a saleswoman herself. Her name is Janae. And really, she is the girl's girl. And I love that. I really do love, like a woman uplifting moment, especially when it's such a dominated male field. It's so easy to kind of feel like this tiny spectrum out of like everybody else. But she really had a great way of making me feel seen and noticed, and also like guides me in ways where it's like, okay, let's recenter ourselves, let's refocus, let's envision our why as to why we're here and how we're going to achieve what we're trying to achieve in this life. And it's a give and take, so I love it.
Do you have a great Janae story?
There's too many, to be honest. I mean, I've only known her for such a short while, but we're so synchronized in ways that it's kind of out of this world. I guess one thing I would say is dealing with the confrontation, in the car business. In the time frame when I was a little amped up the first time that had happened to me, where somebody took my deal completely, and I knew it should have at least been a half deal, and I wasn't getting that from the start, so I had to fight my way for it. In that process, she kind of canceled me because the person in me that's dealing with the first time situations, I'm like, what the heck? Like, what is going on? Why is this happening? It doesn't make sense to me. Can somebody please break this down? Her, on the other hand, she basically was like, you know, in her like, be calm. You can talk to the person, but ask questions. Ask like, hey, did you see in the system that there was an appointment there? Did you put notes? So ask these questions. And then apart from that too, like really get to, I guess, in a way, like, let's understand what is happening. Don't just jump the gun because you're in your emotions. Rather, take a seat back and think logically before you start emotionally. So she was holding me accountable.
She sounds like a very nice mentor to have. And I feel like that's really what it's about is helping each other rather than it being, you know, cutthroat, every person for themselves, you know? Like that is so nice that you get to have her there. Um,
Yes.
what do you think is the biggest lesson that you have learned as a saleswoman? And I want you to think about all of the new women who are starting on their day one right now. Like,
Mhm.
what would you tell them to help them if they feel like they're not getting enough support on their side? Before we hear the answer to that really juicy question from our guest, I wanted to tell you how I found her, how she ended up on this video in this interview. I found her on TikTok because she had a strong presence, because she was using the right hashtags, because she knew what she was doing. And that is how your customers find you. That is how you establish your authority in the marketplace. That is how car salespeople make their mark and take control of their careers, by being online. And you need to be on TikTok if you're not already. My name is Ina. I'm the AutoSocialGal, and I'm a social media strategist for car salespeople, for car dealerships, and I have helped hundreds of people with their online presence over the past decade. And now, for the first time ever, I have created a Mastering TikTok for Car Sales course that you can have right now and learn everything I know about how to show up on TikTok, attract your right customers, and also make the experience be right for you. It doesn't have to be silly dances. It doesn't have to be complicated scripts or skits. It can be whatever you want it to be. And in this course, I really put everything that I know so that you can have the kind of presence that is going to make you go from unknown to unforgettable, so that people want to drive 2 hours out of their way to come and buy cars from you. I have you with the list of equipment that you need, with all of the TikTok features. I am going to show you exactly around the app. I'm going to show you how to simplify the analytics process. You don't have to know everything right off the bat to be successful. I'm going to show you how to stand out with your unique personality. I'm going to show you the viral examples so that they inspire you and you know exactly what to post, and so much more. And all of this can be yours right now. And I want to give you a very special $15 off code. The price of the course is going to keep changing. I just put this out there, and the price is going to continue to increase. So don't rest thinking that the price is going to stay the same, and grab this code right here for your $15 off, no matter what the price of the course is. Just code this QR code, take a picture of this QR code, or go to autosocialgal.com/TT for TikTok. Get it? And use the code YTGals. That stands for YouTube Gals, so that I know you came from this video and you're coming from here. It's all in that QR code. If you go to autosocialgal.com/TT, it already has the code baked into it, and you can go and grab it right now, because I want to see you on TikTok so that I can go and invite you to be on this YouTube channel, elevate your authority, and inspire others. All right, now let's go back to the interview.
It's a tough one on that field because I have to say, for me personally, the type of person that I am is I focus on my inner self, if you will. So like when I feel like I don't have support, when I feel like it's just me against the world, I have to focus on my why at the end of the day. So, when it is just you, or if you just think for yourself, essentially what helps me is just like I like to manifest. I manifest how I envision my life. Not only that, but every day, like even in my free time, because there is downtime in the car business, as there is outside of life. But I don't spend my time every day like, let me set an appointment, let me set an appointment. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, that's okay. I'm gonna keep self-developing. So I like to watch videos that are in alignment with me, things that can guide me in the steps that I'm trying to be as a leader, as a woman, um, while staying feminine also. And then, I also just give myself words of encouragement. So that's probably my best goal for anybody, because at the end of the day, when you have nobody, you have yourself, and you want to continue to love yourself, nurture yourself, and keep yourself, where it is that you're trying to be, because ultimately we all decide and live how we want to in life, and we all create our own destiny. So it's like, how do you want to live?
I love that so much. I love that so much. Thank you so much for everything so far. Let me ask you, what is your best social media hack?
Oh gosh, I actually had one real good viral TikTok one. Um, I was just scrolling through, looking at other people, seeing what they're doing, and I'm like, okay, so how do I turn this into me? So, like find your hobbies, find what you like to do, whether it's talking to people, with your phone right in front of you, or it's you dancing and having people see it, or you like to sing or be creative in any kind of way. Do that. You can still follow the flow of other people, but add your own touch to it. Like don't be completely 100% like somebody else. It's good to follow what's viral, what's trending, but twist it into something that's you at the end of it. Because essentially, people sell themselves. So it's like, you can hop on the trend, but it's you that ends up being followed or messaged or commented on because they like you for whatever you're displaying for yourself.
I love it. That's a good one. Thank you so much. And so finally, this is like your final message to women who are out there starting out on car sales. What do you want to say to them?
Give yourself grace. Give yourself grace because again, you go into this industry, right? Especially if you don't know what you're getting yourself into. You're in a room full of men, a room full of men. It can be intimidating if you're not strong within yourself. You have days where you don't sell days on end, and then you get that one sell towards the end of the week or towards the second end of the week or the middle of the week. You don't know when things are happening. Some people only generate within the system itself. Don't do that. Create more opportunities for yourself by putting your face out there in the world for the world to see, because that is what opens opportunities for you. Because you may have went here thinking this was your niche or this was something for you, but by putting yourself out here in the world, displaying yourself every day while staying true to you, some other opportunity may come along and guide you to where you're meant to be. So first focus here on sales in the car business if that's what you want. Um, but essentially keep growing, keep being impactful in this world, and also just set goals for yourself that are achievable within 3 months, 6 months to a year. You can go far beyond that, but focus on what's closer to you because it's more achievable versus planning, oh, I want to get a house like within a year or I mean 2 years. Okay, well, how are you going to get there? What's the game plan between the 3, 6, and a year month, So yeah, that's the advice I would give.
To wrap it up, why don't you tell us where to find you, how to reach you, where to follow you on social media?
Yes. So my name is Ivana Ibanez. You can find me at the Fernandez Honda dealership in San Antonio, Texas. Other than that, I do have social media. My TikTok, I believe, is the car sales lady Ivana. Um, I do have Instagram as well. That is Ivana Get You a Vehicle or Ivana Get You a Vehicle. And I'm still seeing where life is taking me, but that is my social media platforms, and that's what I got for now.
This has been amazing because I can really tell you're a very spiritual person and you're going to be so successful in this field just by where you're drawing your energy from and how you're choosing to use this energy. I am so grateful to have had this conversation with you. So, really, Ivana, thank you so much for being here. This was such a pleasure.
Yes, thank you, Ina. I really appreciate this opportunity.